Welcome to Humans Oxygen. I am G. Wheeler, and today we are going to be making beef and broccoli. Everybody loves beef and broccoli, or chicken and broccoli, or shrimp and broccoli. So let's get started. Well, firsthand, we're going to start with a large skillet, which I have some sesame oil getting nice and hot for us. You're going to start with whatever meat you prefer: beef, chicken, shrimp, maybe even tofu. And we're going to take cornstarch. You can take, I say, maybe enough cornstarch to coat your meat. So I have some sliced up steak here, which I'm tossing in a mixture of cornstarch, salt, garlic powder, pepper, and some ginger. Now, once you mix it up, you're going to add about 2 tablespoons of water. So, what you want is a nice little wet coating of cornstarch on your meat before you begin to fry. You don't want it too wet because you don't want the grease to pop on you while you're mixing, but you want it a little sticky. This is so when you put in the oil, you don't get fried necessarily beef, but more of a crispy sauteed beef, or chicken, or shrimp, whatever you prefer. So let's get started. Our pan is pretty hot. Make sure that your pan is hot enough where it's not smoking. We're going to add in our beef. If you don't have cornstarch, I've made this recipe before, and I've used flour. The same thing. Just enough flour to coat it. You don't want any excess. And once you get it coated, you can sprinkle on, the seasonings you prefer. Some people don't want salt. Some people want salt. You want pepper. Garlic powder is pretty much a necessity, and powdered ginger. Just to give it a little extra seasoning. So now, you want to fry it up until you get a nice crispy color. Oh yeah. My heat is on about a little bit over medium. Once your pan nice and hot, remember if you're using a large skillet, you have so much in it. I've got about 1.5 pounds of beef here. I always try to pick the thinnest cut of beef. That way, it's not tough after it's finished cooking. Get that beef going. And again, like I said, authentic Chinese cuisine, usually you use cornstarch. However, sometimes you might not have cornstarch, and you can still make the recipe, and it works just as well with flour. Alright, so previously ahead of time, I started a mixture of the seasoning I will be using for this recipe to turn it into beef and broccoli. Here I have a 1/3 cup of soy sauce, about 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. I also added about, I'd say about 1/2 of teaspoon of salt. I added almost a 1/2 tablespoon of garlic powder, almost a 1/2 tablespoon also of powdered ginger, pepper, and then 1 teaspoon of seasoning salt. So I'm going to give this mixture a beat up. There you can see that soy sauce looking good. Also, ahead of time, we got our veggies all chopped up. Oh, lost one. Just keep going. So, get this beef a nice sauce again. Sometimes your pieces of meat may stick together because of cornstarch, depending on how much you have in your pan. Just make sure you separate it so everybody gets nice and brown. Alright, so now, while that's going, let's get into our veggies. So, you guys pick your favorite veggies. So, here I've got some garlic I've got chopped up. I've got some onion that I diced up. I've also got some celery, carrot, and some green peppers. And then the broccoli. Now, some people prefer beef and broccoli, just beef and broccoli. I like the extra veggies. Maybe you do too. Have fun with it. You can mix and match your favorites. Maybe a little squash or zucchini. That'd be good as well. Yeah, so we're browning up very nicely here. Want to get it going a little stronger, so I'm going to add a little bit more sesame oil. Just sprinkle across twice there. You want to cook your meat so that the coating is cooked. Depending on how thick your meat is, it may cook all the way on you. We've got some hungry appetites waiting for dinner, so we're going to keep this going. Now, once we do finish cooking this meat, I'm making sure my heat is on about a high. Once we do finish cooking this meat, we are going to remove it from the pan. So let's get plate. My bowl will be fine. So once we're finished, we can add that in. Our beef is going really good here. I did turn the heat up to speed up the process some. I love Chinese food. It's one of my favorites. And like anything, once I figure out how to make it in the house, I forget about going out. So, like I said, we want to make sure, we're going to try our best to make sure every piece gets nice and brown. And it looks like we're almost there. You guys don't have smell-o-vision. We're getting somewhere now. So, you guys, this is a pretty quick and easy, healthy meal. It's something you can prepare. I'll say we're at almost about 10 minutes now. So, let's say maybe 20 minutes, half-hour meals. Can't beat that. Healthy food for enough people. It's up to you. You can eat this just as beef and broccoli. You can have with rice. You can do lo mein with it. Add lo mein noodles, ramen noodles, rice vermicelli noodles, your favorite pasta. Up to you. So, oh, we're looking good now. Got a few pieces that just need a little extra love. We'll get them in the bottom of the pan, and then we're going to get ready to remove this from the pan so we can start on our veggies. So let's make a little space here so we can remove this from the pan. Now we're going to do our veggies in the same pan that we did the beef in. So we're gonna, our beef is nice and brown now. That's that cornstarch, got nice and browned up. And this recipe is pretty simple. I mean, you really can't mess it up. I know people say, oh, you never know. So we got our beef. We're gonna set our beef to the side. And now let's get ready for these veggies. So I always like to start with my garlic, right? So to the pan, because of the amount of vegetables I have, I probably got about 2 pounds of veggies too. I'm adding that was about 4 tablespoons of sesame oil. Enough to pretty much coat the entire pan. And as you see, I'm rubbing it around on the pan. Now I do want a little bit of pepper in my, so I always start with my ground pepper in the oil. Here I'm adding about a half a teaspoon of pepper. When you add your pepper, ground pepper, into the oil while it's getting hot, it releases the oils from the pepper in your food while you're cooking it. So now while that pepper is getting nice and toasty, I'm going to add the garlic. It's all right. I got a couple of pieces of onion in there. And the pan is so hot that we're just waiting for the garlic to get slightly brown. Because remind you, we're still going to be cooking other stuff. It's going to keep cooking. So, I don't know if you guys can see there. The garlic has gotten a slight tint of brown. So now we're going to add the onions. And pretty much what I'm going to do in this process is sweat my vegetables out. Sweating out veggies. People say, how do I know my vegetables are sweating? Well, you'll have to look at the color. Has it changed in color? Has it become sort of opaque because of the vegetable hasn't cooked yet? Or is it getting translucent because it's starting to cook? The onions, as you see when you first start, they'll start off with a white color. So now my veggies have begun to sweat because now they're starting to get a little slightly translucent. That was quick, huh? I'm at a high heat. The lower your heat, the longer they take to sweat. So now we're going to add in our celery next. We're going to give that a little toss. For you guys that aren't tossers, get your spatula, get your ladle, get whatever it is your heart desires to cook. See, one thing about cooking is people say, oh, you're doing it wrong. Everybody always has their way, and their way is the right way. The right way is the love that you put in the food and the attention that you give to it. Everybody's love is different. Some people flip. Some people use a ladle. Some people use a spoon or a spatula. It's your choice. It's your love. It's what your heart desires. It's just the fact that you're taking the time to do it is what makes it extra special. So, we've got that celery going. Our celery is beginning to sweat. How do I know? It's becoming slightly translucent. Getting kind of clear. You're seeing the liquids being released. All right, so now I'll do the carrots next. Carrots usually take a little bit longer. So we'll get those going. And when you do your veggies, cut your veggies into whatever shape that you like. You know, I did some of my carrots in bias cut, as we call, on an angle, same thing as the celery. I also cut some, and as we call it, a half a moon. People say, oh, what? Well, you don't think of a moon. When you cut the moon, which is a circle, in half, you get a half a moon. A lot of people cut their cucumber like that when you're making a salad. You take the whole cucumber and cut it in half and get a half moon. All right. So, now that we've got our carrots going, we're going to get ready to add our peppers peppers in. And I'm actually going to add my peppers now because while we cut our broccoli, it's going to give time for all of these veggies to get nice and sweaty. Never thought sweating could sound good, huh? If you guys could smell it, then you would know sweating vegetables does smell good. So we got this going. I'm on a medium-high heat. I'm probably maybe one notch above medium. You know, since I moved to South Florida, I had to get used to this electric range cooking. I'm so used to gas and fire. And, oh, I can see how high and feel how hot. It's a lot different as far as how the temperature gauges. Even if you had a conventional oven versus your oven in your own house, you know. Long story short, let's get this broccoli chopped up and going. So, now our broccoli, pretty much what I did was I took the broccoli and, I don't know if you guys can see, I peeled it. Try to get it at an angle where you can, there you go. So I peeled off the flowers and the leaves. You can see a few leaves left up here, but the ones on the stem, I peeled them off, both stalks of broccoli, and I cut the tip off because it's tough. I mean, I like all of my broccoli. I don't want to lose any of the nutrients. You know, it's good protein, green leafy veggie. Who wouldn't miss out on that? So I like my stalk. We're going to use it. So first I got the broccoli. We're going to cut it up. I cut the stalk off, so now we're cutting the heads into pieces. And you cut it into the pieces you desire. I have a broccoli lover in the house, so I know that I'm not going to have little tiny pieces of broccoli. I also know that I don't want the broccoli to end up cooking too fast and getting mushy. Leftovers with this are always great, so the broccoli is the last addition. That way you can kind of hold on to its crispness. If you are doing meal planning or reheating,